Welcome to iHeartGeek.
And welcome to iHeartGeek. Wow, that was way too enthusiastic, but I'm enthusiastic for a reason, because this is a welcome to our giant-sized episode.
No.
Yeah, that's about the highest production we're going to get today.
It's probably about the highest energy rating you're going to get from me today, too.
Well, let's do our introductions around the table real quick. Let's see. Starting off to our left, we have our long-lost friend, K-Brew. We haven't seen you forever. How you been, bud?
Good. Been working a lot. But other than that...
Wait a minute. What are you doing here?
I know.
Don't I see enough of you?
I know. It's crazy.
Jeez.
Yeah. Bury the lead on the other show a little bit.
Right. Oh, I know.
Just name drop that. Pick that up right there. All right, fine.
Well, since Jason never plugs it, you want to plug your show real quick before we start?
Oh, yeah. I'm on Jason's podcast, Recorded Deconstruction. He just kind of... Or the Recorded Deconstruction podcast. He kind of just lets me, get on there every once in a while. It's great. Thank
like
you.
Every episode,
yeah,
right? Something like that.
Yeah, I got to pay him. It's great.
And across the table, we have our ever-expounding ball of energy, the Kaj.
Hi.
Herb Otter.
He's like a galaxy, like expanding across the universe.
Summer has arrived, everybody, and my job just gets exponentially more exhausting.
Are you outside?
No.
Oh.
Thank God.
You just have a whole lot of tourists.
Just a lot of tourists and a lot.
Do you know what he does?
My
Yeah,
energy,
I do.
my energy goes
Gondolier.
to that.
Okay, and to the other side of the table, we have Mr.
PB
and Mr. Jason.
Both of them.
The giant monster of this show.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, if you keep losing weight, you won't be, so...
Man,
Then
that
it'll be
is
me,
a challenge, but that is a challenge. But yeah, no, I love I love giant monsters. I absolutely do. I was the one excited about, this show because
Well, you've been wanting to do this one for a while.
Yep.
And I said, okay, you write it. And then you did.
And I did.
So guess what? We had to do the Giant Monsters episode.
you read that like, God, why do I get? Oh, I told him he could write it. No.
That's how that works, though, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, the iHeartGeek today is brought to you by Gojira, I guess, right? Did I say that
Oh man.
you know what? I read off the pre-programmed notes.
You have a bass guitar, right?
I do.
Do you know how they made the Godzilla roar?
No.
They took a rubber glove and ran it across a double bass.
Really?
They did.
Wow.
I know that. That's great.
I think I've heard that before.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to call you a liar on it.
I know.
We know what Dub's going to be doing later.
Yeah.
Recording. Okay, we're going to get that right.
That's how he's going to wake up his children in the morning. Just.
Okay, just to be fair, my oldest son just got an accordion.
Oh.
And he's waking us up every day, and his little brother up as well, playing the chicken dance.
He's
on the freaking accordion.
Is he the Weird Al Yankovic heir apparent?
Awesome.
No, it's bad.
It's awesome for you guys.
Yeah, it's funny when I talk about it on the show.
Yeah.
So you come out after about the fifth time. Go, could you please stop playing the chicken dance?
Well, luckily, I do wake up before him because I get up early anyway.
That's true. Military stuff probably still sticking, right?
Yeah,
That
something
military
like that.
time clock.
Yeah.
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 And
It
that you
never
got to
goes
be
away.
at work and obscenely ridiculous.
Really
What
early
time?
every
What time?
morning.
Because I've been doing the early shift, like 5 a.m. And
I'm up at 4 every day.
I had to get up before. Like this last week and a half.
You guys should call each other. Does
We
this
did.
suck?
We had
See,
to, like,
this is why you say, hey, guys, come on, be on our show. I'm like, you guys record at like 10 at night.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's why we're like, when the next time we do it, we're gonna do it over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna come here.
Then
Although
I'm
you
gonna
gotta-
drive as far.
Yeah.
Sleep.
We're gonna absolutely profane this family-friendly studio. It's gonna be
Wow, we will, but and now just get the OMF file from you, and we'll.
All right. So giant
so bored
monsters
right
with
now.
kaiju.
Sorry about that.
Okay, well, let's start with the intro that Jason so eloquently wrote for us. The Lost World was in 1925.
And that's insane.
Yeah. But it really began in 1933 with one of the few monsters that I really know, King Kong, which is awesome. The first proper giant monster movie. Was that the first? I thought Godzilla was
there were some no
Godzilla
King
was
Kong, yeah.
much
no
later.
Godzilla was in the 50s, 54,
Yes.
I believe. No, there were dinosaurs.
Yeah.
As you know, like again the Lost World was mostly dinosaurs, but there was some. But yeah, King Kong was the first proper. If you want to talk about a kaiju, a giant beast, yeah, King Kong.
Webster's dictionary defines kaiju.
Okay, we're not doing commencement exercises today.
Yeah, but Yamamoto's dictionary does.
Right.
Yep.
So we've been up 86 years of this genre. What makes it keep coming back, and what is it that audiences really get about these?
Right. Since I wrote that question, I actually gave a lot of thought to that question.
Right.
So I'm going to pose.
So it must be right.
Not necessarily.
All right,
No, but
Jason with his giant-sized thoughts.
giant size thought. I do have now those I have constantly, but
Giant head.
okay. So I. Yeah,
Giant size
that's
something.
yeah.
Okay.
Can't really argue. No. So I think that inside the human psyche, there's two things that really draw people to this genre and why it's been able to endure for so long. The first thing is the same thing that draws people to be tornado chasers. Okay? People want to be able to see in real life something dangerous. Okay? They want to get close. There's the morbid curiosity to see something that, you know, your rational mind says, do not go near that. Do not get away from that as fast as you can. But it's also like, I want to be as close to that as I can without getting killed. Okay? So I think that's the first element of it. Okay? The second element of it is I think people want to personify those things and engage in completely wanton id type destruction. So I think that those two factors are what continually draw people back, even if the movies aren't that good.
Well, something that I heard, I was pretty young when I heard this, but I thought it was an interesting take on this. And this isn't for all the monster movies, but like the Godzilla especially, is because we as a people, we have to be scared of something or else we're not complete. We huddle around each other if we're scared. And that is the fear of nuclear war.
Yeah.
That is what the nuclear option is what made the Godzilla monster.
Yes.
So therefore, and that it came from Japan and all that. I mean, there's a lot to that.
Yes.
But that's part of why.
Sure.
Actually, Godzilla was made by an American nuclear bomb and then went after Japan. It was America that actually made the lizard, not Japan.
Okay. Well, it was just nuclear in general.
Yeah.
Right. That fear of nuclear war.
My fear is of PB&J.
Okay.
That's
Keeps
always
me
the fear of
going.
everybody.
I agree with Jason as well. Of just utter destruction of a place or a city or whatnot. It's almost like you're venting out your frustrations as well, where you just see total carnage and chaos. And it also makes us like feel that we're smaller. Like there is, we might be the top of the food chain here on Earth. To a certain extent, but it's always of like, well, what if there's something that's bigger than that? What if there's something
right.
where we are the prey or we are the insects to this large,
And a lot of the
gigantic thing.
most recent monster films have really touched on that theme. Like, are we really as top of the chain as we think we are? Which is fine. I mean, that's good. But yeah, I think it's a very primal thing. It's
Just kind of more or less kind of a reality check.
yeah.
You know.
What about just even with it's like a big problem. Just say for the sake of argument, like Godzilla, and it's us banding together to beat this one to overcome this bigger threat.
I think there's a lot to that. That's just about any movie that's like an epic disaster movie. Is that what is it that makes everybody come together? War movies. The bad guy makes the whole country come together. Any of this, the great social unrest, what draws everybody together. We need that as a society, as a way we've evolved. So I think and these monster movies are a part of it.
Yeah, I can see that. The most famous one, King Kong, Godzilla, but probably Godzilla gets the title. He's had the most movies.
I'd say
He's
King
had-
Kong.
I don't know. Godzilla's had the most.
Recognizability. Everyone's heard of Godzilla. Everybody's seen the big stop motion King Kong climb up with Fay Ray.
Yeah, but you know what? Let me pose this question though. Which one is cooler? To me, Godzilla is so more infinitely cooler than King Kong.
I agree with that too, because King Kong has what four movies, and they're basically all the same thing. Like it's him like going up to the top of the Empire State Building. Godzilla has
Except for Skull Island.
Yeah, it was Skull Island.
Right.
But Godzilla, having said that, like not only has the new movies, has the early 2000 movies, and then in the 70s had a slew. He even has a rogues gallery. Like
he had three phases. He had the three phases.
He has a comic book.
He does. Yeah. So he kind of, I don't remember the name of the
There's a video
thing.
game.
He's got that. He's got books, everything.
Yeah.
But he went through like he was a terrifying force of nature in the original movie. Then he went through kind of the cuddly good guy stage with the jet jaguars and stuff like that. No, he did.
I mean, know, just like
and then they kind of reshaped him as kind of the
benevolent kind of
the apathetic force of nature again, not necessarily
the Pacific Rim version, basically.
Kind of,
but he's the good guy, but he's a good guy that. I don't know.
A little bit more of a bad guy in his second phase, turning him more into a good guy again in the third phase.
Quick question. I'm sorry. Do you consider the 98 version of Godzilla actually Godzilla?
No.
Okay.
That would be Zilla.
But let me throw it back on the cool points as far as King Kong goes.
Okay.
Why would people relate to King Kong more? Because of the humanity. Because primate, we have a whole lot more of a empathy towards than Lizard.
And King
Lizard
Kong
is always scary.
King Kong shows a range of emotions.
Godzilla is mindless, basically. There is no emotion to it. He's
apathetic.
He's apathetic. Well, and he's had emotion like throughout the thing, but like now with the newer version of it, it's more of like he's indifferent about things.
That's the best word for it.
Because I said benevolent. I'm like that word. I don't think it.
He's like, back in the day, you guys were bad, but now you're kind of okay, so I'll help you guys out.
Right.
Fine.
Right.
Just don't mess with my territory.
Right. Has anybody other than me seen the newest one?
I have not.
You have?
I have.
You have. Okay.
What'd you think?
Spoiler alert. I actually liked it. It's some. You know what? Here's the thing. To me, it's a giant monster movie. You know, it's like complete popcorn type thing. It's like, whoa, that's cool.
But that's what they should be.
Yeah.
If you're expecting anything more than that,
right? Exactly.
What was interesting to me about seeing that one was it started off kind of plot interesting. You know, and I was like, oh. Maybe they're actually going to have a giant monster movie with a human plot, and it's going to permeate throughout. Nope, about halfway through, the plot went out the window, and it was just giant monsters.
Right.
That's what it should be.
Yeah, to me, it's almost like when people talk about like the plot of the Transformers movies or whatever. Right?
There was a plot.
I don't care. It was cars turning into robots, turning into cars. It was great.
When you could see what was going on, sure, why not?
Come on, it was fantastic.
Oh, the Kosh, you've inspired the Kosh face. Kosh has very big issues with
those movies.
Oh, come on.
You can't tell what's going on in them.
No,
it's line drawing all over the place, and I'm like, okay, whatever.
Yeah,
but talk about not being able to be empathetic towards a character because you can't see what's going on.
Michael Bay,
they all look exactly the same.
But
wait, they can walk away from the explosion facing forward.
I will say this though, I'm going to hold out for. They almost did it in Cloverfield. I'll give them credit. They actually had a plot line through that movie that did stick the whole time.
Right.
And I would actually like to see more of that because I liked how Godzilla King of the Monsters started, but I could tell that somewhere through that movie they're like, ooh, we could do this. Maybe we could do this. Oh wait, no, maybe we could do this, and then they just did anything. As long as we could show, Godzilla and all the monsters.
You know what though, the one thing that with particularly with the last Godzilla's, it's like it looks really, really cool. It looks real. You know what I'm talking about with the CGI. I don't think it's as cool as like the guy in the suit. You know what I'm talking about?
You know what? I missed that. There's more of a humanity to it.
Yeah. We're going to cover that a little more, actually.
Okay, so we're going to get to more of this as we go, but right now let's jump on to something we haven't had in a good long while.
Pizza.
We have more news and thoughts on anime than you can swing a katana at.
Okay, we're doing the anime corner again. Kaj, tell us about giant monsters and anime.
What can I not say about giant monsters and robots in anime? That's basically the premise of all anime has ever been created. To a certain extent, but like from what I was doing, there's hundreds of giant robots and aliens and monster things up there. The one big one that started off with is in 1963. It was called Tetsugin, but as us Americans would know it as Gigantor. And it's basically kind of like a pre Voltron type of like a robot that was the military made and would fight off bigger robots or enemies or aliens or whatnot. And then it kind of morphed into Gundams, which is like the kind of the big super robots, and that was when I was researching it. And I know Carl's probably going to be jumping out of his skin on this one, but I was watching Gundam and I was watching Robotech, and it was almost like a Star Trek, Star Wars type of a thing, where Gundam was more of like both sides are human and they both have robots, while Macross is robot versus like an alien invasion coming into it.
Macross Robotech.
Robotech. And then,
I remember those when I was a kid.
And then from there it goes into like Transformers, just anything that's oversized.
Robots.
I gotta ask though, because there was a bridge one before them. Do any of you guys remember Shogun Warriors?
Oh heck yeah,
Yes.
dude! I had
You
like
do?
there was three of them. My brothers and I had all three of the Shogun Warriors.
Right, we had two of them. But
those are worth like bank now.
I know.
Oh, God, I
know. But they were an interesting bridge, and there was a show. Do you remember the show?
Yeah.
But they didn't take off here. It was weird.
Yeah, I do remember like vaguely seeing Shogun Warriors when I was a kid. Like it was on either Saturday morning cartoons or Cartoon Express or something like that when it was coming up.
I remember the toys because they like had the things that shot out.
Yeah, missiles.
And we used to go look at them in Vegas Village. Do you remember going to Vegas Village?
I do.
Right. and now kind of like speeding it up to the newer age. I mean, we have like Neon Genesis Evangelion, which is kind of like humans getting into these kind of like organic robots, and then like there's aliens that come down, and they have to fight them, or it's going to destroy humanity.
Aliens or angels
or angel,
That's such a
like
trip.
if you get a chance to check that out, I'm pretty sure that most people who watch anime has seen at least the original show of that. It is messed up.
And it's on Netflix now.
Yeah,
they've just brought it back to Netflix.
I just remember watching the end and just kind of tilting my head, going,
"Which end?
What?" The original one, not the revised versions.
Okay.
When it just like it was just showing images left and right, and you're like, I don't know what's going on. This is weird. And then even more recently than that, Attack on Titan, like just getting it back to the horror genre of like where these small little feeble insects, and then all of a sudden these giant creatures come out and just start laying waste to everybody in the town and the castle. Yeah.
So bad parent PB&Jason here for a sec.
Oh no.
Oh no.
No, I found out that because my daughter has a friend, and they're like, "You got to watch this show." So she loves Attack on Titan. She absolutely loves it, and she told me she watched it, and I was like, because I've seen about 4 or 5 of the first episodes,
right?
And I was like, "What?"
Especially the first episode.
Yeah,
oh my god!
But honestly, she's okay about it. But it's crazy. She actually, she did that twice. She did that with Titan and frickin' Rick and Morty.
I let my
know you do.
watch. I have such.
So Facebook and Twitter people, what are your children watching you don't know about?
Yeah, we got an episode about that coming up.
Yeah,
too.
exactly.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Would you consider like Power Rangers to be live action anime with under that kind of guise? Because it seems like the exact same thing as Voltron and
like the Megazord is it's basically the same thing. You're fighting space aliens that are like the size of buildings, and then the Power Rangers form. It's a Voltron type of
so.
thing.
Do we consider that to be anime, even though it's live action?
No, it's a live action version. Well, I think there is anime of the Power Rangers, if I'm not mistaken.
Really?
Yeah. In some aspect, well, I know they have comic books and stuff of them. So, at the very least, they're manga to a certain extent.
Fair enough.
I would definitely put them in that category as well. Yep.
Nice. Okay, check it all out, guys. Okay, so let's move on just for a second. Let's discuss because we were hitting on this with anime anyway, how giant robots and aliens got into the mix from we talked Godzilla, King Kong, and then the aliens showed up. So is that what happened as Ultraman?
I think Ultraman. That was like the first time I saw like the giant robot. When I was a kid, it was like Ultraman.
I think so. Yeah. Although I'm trying to remember if Jet Jaguar came first.
It probably did.
Yeah.
Or right around the same time. But Ultraman to me was like the first.
The first alien, though, I think was actually King Ghidorah, the 3-headed dragon, because they actually presented that one as and Alien. So I think that like entered the whole
not a Hydra at all.
No, not a Hydra. Not an Earth, an Earthborn creature. But yeah, the influx of the Ultraman for sure. Ultraman version 1 for sure. I think brought you that weekly episode of
so awesome.
Alien merged with human takes on Monster of the Week.
But that to me, like it, Ultraman seemed accessible because you had Hayata who took the bathing capsule, and it was like kind of like, oh, I can do that.
Yeah,
do you know what I'm saying? It was kind of like
and you pretended you did. Oh, absolutely.
You grab the toilet roll.
I think that's part of the appeal on that is you could just be somebody jumping into a piece of machinery. And you could be part of it all. There's something cool about that appeals to kids, which, like we all know, if it appeals to a kid, it's going to appeal to the adult when they grow up.
Right. And it gives us the little people like a sense of power. Like we're taking our power back by getting into these robots and actually fighting for them. Having said that, I would be remiss to not include this person into the. I didn't put it in my top 5, but I just remembered him. Do you remember the Japanese Spider-Man live action TV show?
No.
I do not.
Yes, it was called Spider-Man, and it was about a young motorcycle racer named Takuya Yamashiro, and he saw this UFO alien or UFO ship called the Marveler. Crash down, and he gets imbued with these powers of like a spider. So he wears the Spider-Man costume. But once things get a little out of control and things get too much too big for his britches, then he calls down the Leopardon. Okay, and it's a big like Megazord Power Ranger kind of, and it's got the Spider-Man symbol on it.
Really?
That's awesome.
How did they not get sued?
I think they had like permission from Marvel to actually do it.
Interesting.
Because at the time, Marvel would give permission to do anything because they needed money.
Yeah,
we all saw that Fantastic
Go
Four,
check it up on YouTube. It's like Power Rangers and Spider-Man mixed in together. It's quite interesting.
Outstanding. Well, now I want to move on a little bit because this is actually the one part of the script that I've been dying to hear what you guys have to say about. Just kind of the growth of the field with the special effects. I mean, it started with the stop motion, which honestly, there's something I miss about that. And then goes on to the man of the suit, all the way up to green screen to the CGI of today.
Then some animatronics, too, and then CGI. Yeah.
Well, let's talk about that. What are you guys' take on that? What's your favorite? What do you?
I always, and still to this day, I can appreciate stop motion, but it's the one to me that's always like the one that as I got older, the magic faded more and more. Because it's like, now it's kind of a novelty. You see like Harryhausen stuff, and it's like, oh, that's really bad looking, but it's cool. As a kid, you're like, oh my gosh, it's all the,
you know what though, even as a kid, it didn't look real, but it was just cool.
Yeah.
Because again, like when you know how to do the stop motion animation type stuff, it's like I could do that. And I mean, I don't know if you've had a camera when you're a kid.
It's playing with toys.
Yeah, exactly.
It's what you're going to do in your bedroom.
There's an appeal to it.
But when they put it was really, I think, Godzilla first. When they put a guy in a suit and they changed, he walked like a
duck.
Like a duck. No, it wasn't so jerky.
An Egyptian. Egyptian.
Walk this way.
Right.
No. But but you'd see him up against the miniatures, but it would be a person walking. That really was a big, breakthrough at the time in the 50s, for the realism.
Yeah.
And they kept the suit version of Godzilla.
Ooh, like into the 90s.
Well, that was green screen, wasn't it? That was just green screen, correct?
Oh, I think it was up against miniatures at first, and then I think they might have moved it to green screen.
Star Wars, good enough Star Wars, good enough Godzilla.
Yeah.
But they, when you look at it, it still looks like the guy in the suit, but it got so much better.
It did.
Yeah. But it still looked cool. There's like that appeal to it.
Yeah. The one in the suit, I don't know if you guys have seen this one, but it has a different name in Japan, but here it was released as Godzilla 1984.
I remember seeing that.
One of the
Blockbuster.
He was like when he worked at he worked for the Ministry of Information and
his name was Godzilla.
No,
it was Godzilla
Smith.
when
When Godzilla kind of like I don't want to say commits suicide, but he just kind of walks off into the sunset. And
Well,
just
no,
never
that was the
returns.
Godzilla 1984, which is called again something else in Japan. That was the beginning of Phase 2 Godzilla.
Okay.
That was where they took him from being I'm doing martial arts with Jet Jaguar and turned him back into a monster.
Okay.
Now, I think the special effects for that one today still hold up. Now, antiquated, yes, but I think they still hold up as being the best because that was the first time Godzilla felt big. It wasn't so much he was up against miniatures, and you knew it because it was wind-up tanks and stuff that. But this is the one where they used like some
Remote control tanks.
You're right. No, they use some like older animatronics, and they use like slower movements and things, and really made him look big for the first time. And I remember being creeped out by that a little bit because it's like, wow, he really is kind of scary again. This isn't Godzilla versus the smog monster. This is
Yeah,
like,
and
Smog monster.
Godzilla 1984 is like when David Lee Roth left the band, right?
exactly.
Wow. Now I want to throw up.
You're
bad.
feeling my pain.
Oh, wow. And you record with this guy.
I know.
Every
week.
day.
Every week.
So, do you think they're believable now? Or do you think, because like we were talking about with the Transformers example, it's gotten so quote-unquote good that it's not believable anymore. Are we at that point with Godzilla?
Yeah, I think so.
Let me say one thing about the horrible Matthew Broderick Zilla movie.
Right.
Okay? It looked really good.
Yeah, it looked great.
That was the one thing about it. Like that was a really believable looking monster. I think for the first time. And I remember what so pissed me off about that movie, man. A
Was
year
everything?
of the most brilliant
Oh, I know.
marketing
Oh, dude.
ever with the teasers and the foot and the tail and all this stuff. And then
It was Batman all over again.
right. And then they gave us something that was basically just a giant iguana.
If they would have called it something else, it might have worked better.
The Japanese have called it Zilla. They actually made it a
Really?
separate
Yeah.
creature.
Okay. It's a multiverse.
Yeah.
Right.
No, honestly, I don't think that because of the non-name recognition that anybody would care.
Right.
Well, I mean,
I really don't.
no, that had name Matthew Broderick.
No,
Hank
no.
Azaria.
I mean,
Frank
the
Azaria?
character.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The
Well, they called it
character of
Godzilla, though, so everybody
yeah.
went hyped to go see that.
I
That's
didn't
what?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't mind Godzilla in the movie. Like I
didn't mind
thought
him.
that was amazing. Those eggs, the baby
eggs were cheesy.
Godzilla.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
that. I'm like, what?
And we're
No.
killing baby.
That's-
We're
yeah,
killing
that's-
baby dinosaurs now.
That's when my line was drawn.
The one
I'm
thing
like,
about
that's stupid.
The one thing that drove me crazy about that was the radioactive breath was non-existent.
It did not exist.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like that wasn't believable enough. Like they,
We can't have a
We
giant
can't-
lizard blowing
no one
fire.
will ever believe it.
Didn't they have one part of that with the?
There was one thing where he breathed, and
breathed.
some stuff caught fire, and there was a
Yeah.
cheap
Yeah.
like thing. But I thought about something actually.
No,
We
really?
got to go. Yeah, we got to take a step back. I think actually the first time there was a different level of realism was in the second King Kong with Jessica Lange.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
That was
I think actually
that was
Jeff Bridges.
no
Jessica Lange?
the makeup Rick Baker.
Oh, Rick
Oh,
Baker
yeah,
did
the
that.
makeup artist, yeah.
Yeah.
Again, there was a combination there of person in a suit, obviously, and then some green screen for sure.
Right.
And I think in that one they crossed a lot of ground to make him better.
Right.
Leading up to better and better from. So maybe that might be the first one.
Yeah, I think because it was really you got a sense of how big.
Kong was.
Yeah. And but it was definitely a remake of the original.
It was.
But honestly, I don't think it was a disrespectful remake either. I thought that was
No, it was.
That was good.
It was kind of an advancement, like 2.0. Like,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
now we're doing.
It was the right way of doing it.
we're doing the old script, but in a new with newer technology, we can make it even bigger.
I'll tell you what, take it between that and the Peter Jackson. I'll take that one. Yeah.
Which, and that like 3.0, and now with the CGI that we can use, I mean, he looked
And
with
did-
Andy Serkis.
Yeah. Did you guys see Skull Island? Any of them? Anybody see that one?
No.
I trust
No.
my parents when they talk
great.
about
No, good movie. Really good movie.
Really?
Really?
Yes. Yeah, really good take on King Kong, introducing him into this new monarch phase because he's attached to the Godzilla and the
Right.
whole thing.
Well, they're supposed to be making a movie. They're supposed to be
Kong
making
versus
King Kong,
Godzilla. That's
Yeah.
next.
Sweet.
We'll see.
Maybe, but Skull Island, the Godzilla movies have been plot bad. The two newer ones. Garth Edwards' first one, and then this newest one, plot poor. But Skull Island had a good plot.
Oh.
Skull Island was good. Hiddleston is in it. Brie Larson.
Wow.
Good cast. Sam Jackson.
Really?
Big
Lot of
cast.
So it's a Marvel movie.
But again,
Yeah, basically.
but again,
pretty
with these movies, I guess because they over advertised that last Godzilla, the one with Matthew Broderick. Haven't really heard anything about these movies. I know they exist, and I guess if you look for it, it's there, but it's not like in your face at all. I don't know if it's just a different marketing plan or what.
It might be. I mean, really though, because like when you look at like the Marvel universe and stuff like that, I mean, they've hyped the crap out of that. I mean,
Well, that's hyped, but the Godzilla,
but what I'm saying,
the Skull Island wasn't.
Do you think though that the giant monsters, and again, I know we're talking about special effects, and but it kind of goes together. Do you think that as enduring 86 years, as we've talked about, it's still a niche market almost? Like you have to be really interested in it, and maybe have been interested in it for years and years. It's drawing an audience like people like us who have grown up with it versus kids like, I want to go see.
Well, again, like being the father of two, kind of one borderline teenager, one teenager, it wasn't a big deal for them. The Marvel universe is way more appealing to them.
They have much more options now.
Yeah.
But I think that what's actually more appealing to next generation and people that aren't really into that is if you guys watch Pacific Rim.
Yeah.
It's very much the same. It felt like Godzilla and all that, and Robotech and everything together. But that was the next generation. They didn't like the second one. The first one, they loved it.
That really did. That actually,
I hated that movie.
The first one.
Yep.
Really?
I haven't seen the second one, but I hated it.
It
It really, really bugged me about the whole symbiosis of two people being in the mech. It drove me crazy.
Really?
It drove me up the wall.
It was a different plot point. I get it.
What bugged you so much about that?
Because I've been watching anime with just giant robot. Like I just
one person, one robot.
That's it. That's all you need. Have big fights with the monsters, and then it was almost like, oh, we need a struggle between the two people, and then they get connected, and then they fall in love, and now they can control the robot. And I'm like,
plot point.
I don't need that. That's filler. That's Michael Bay love romance filler stuff. I hated it. I don't like you, Michael Bay.
That was
so
good.
noted.
That was Guillermo.
Yes.
That was
We will never get him as a
Guillermo
guest.
del Toro.
I will walk out. But see you.
Can you do a show that's just like one nonstop 45-minute rant against Michael Bay?
I think we have one.
Sweet challenge.
We're about 200 episodes in. I think we have one.
It's called Kaj Takes the Mic.
And in this supplemental,
I actually think Michael Bay is a fine filmmaker.
Oh, look at that face. Look at that face.
With that being said, we are going to cut to a
can you
commercial.
put an explosion sound bite in here?
Love anything and everything nerdy? Looking for a new podcast? Look no further than Dice Tales. Dice Tales is a live Dungeons & Dragons show which performs in Grand Rapids, Michigan. It was started as a one-shot fundraiser for Dog Story Theater, the local theater at which the show is performed. The resounding success of that first night led the group to want to perform more, and now, over a year later, they are still performing and have begun a podcast of the same name. So, follow adventurers Liz Brand, Chuck Fortenbacher, Ross Johnson, Carrie Schultens, Brad Seitzma, and their GM Brooke Heinz as they embark on epic quests, forge new alliances, and foil the most vile of villains on Dice Tales. Check us out on Facebook at Dice Tales Live and download the Dice Tales podcast on iTunes today. Dice Tales would like to thank our sponsors, Gaming Paper, Character Case, and Sirenscape for their continued support, as well as, of course, iHeartGeek.
And now, let's see what all of our geek rock stars have to say.
Okay, and judging from that music that we just came off the commercial with, we have our listener feedback section. As always, everyone stood up and we actually started cutting down, and we're just doing for the most part, things that I find really interesting are people that told me a little of why they liked whoever
Yes, if
they
you
picked.
want to be read on the show, say why.
Because I like that a lot more. So our question was, who is your favorite giant monster fight? Or your dream monster fight, I guess that would be.
Oh, okay.
Better way of saying it. Okay, so first off, from the podcast.
While you're doing this, can I underneath you go da-da-da,
No.
da-da-da? No?
I feel like I want to punch something then if you do that.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so from the podcast, Gamera versus Megalodon. They
Who?
were, I don't know.
A turtle.
Gamera.
A big
Gamera!
They were among my favorites of the Toho Kaiju. Now, to be fair, I don't know of anything that I'm reading right now. I'm not really into the monster thing. I've some knowledge, but so I apologize if I butcher whatever you guys are saying.
Toho Kaiju is the ones that made the old Godzilla, Gamera, King Jiron.
Okay, Daniel Houston. Cthulhu versus the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
Marshmallow Man.
Seriously, and that is amazing, and thank you.
I wrote a comment on that, in that Cthulhu and Gozer the Traveler would be poker playing buddies in the,
Right.
in the netherworld.
That would be amazing. Christina Belden, Bebo versus 80s Megatron. Oh my god, freaking hilariously epic. Todd Harvey said Rodan versus Ultraman. Epic. Who is Rodan?
Rodan's the
Pterodactyl.
pterodactyl.
Oh, okay.
There was actually an Ultraman Godzilla, even though they didn't call him Godzilla fight.
He had a collar.
They had to call
Right.
him.
Yes. Rodan is the
Rodan.
pterodactyl.
Okay.
Probably the second most famous kaiju in America in the 50s and 60s.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so that was our listener feedbacks that we picked for this week. Keep them up. Thank you for sending these in. We appreciate them a lot, and keep them coming, guys.
Yeah. So you changed my poker game to Go Fish. Is that what I understood?
Sure.
How did that work?
So we're on the break, and it was like, do you have any queens?
No.
Then die.
This would be funnier if I knew what you guys were talking about.
Ghostbusters?
Oh,
Oh,
okay. I'm
yeah,
stupid.
okay.
Thank
Well,
you.
what?
I am taking your geek card.
No, honestly, I've just because I'm thinking monsters, and I didn't think. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with Dub on that one.
Now I don't feel so bad. And let's move on to the main event before I embarrass myself further.
Now it's time for the main event.
Okay, for our main event today, we're taking out Godzilla and King Kong, since they're the two most popular and everyone knows them. And that would
They're basically number one and number two.
But
whatever
King
order
Kong
you want.
would be my number one.
Right.
Just so you
King
know.
Kong would not even make my top 5.
Really?
Well, aren't we
Absolutely.
special?
Yes.
So, what are our 5 favorite giant monsters, creatures, aliens, or robots? And you guys took away a couple of mine, even though it was a monster/alien, but I'll leave it alone. A monster and an alien. But okay, I'll leave it alone. I don't...
Wasn't
Hulk
giant
sorry.
enough.
Yes, he was. Okay, so I'll start with my number 5, and that would be the Cyclops from...
Sinbad.
From Sinbad.
Yeah.
And from all those other, the Titans.
Harryhausen, man.
Yeah, love those.
He was, for his day, the absolute best.
And that one always made enough of an imprint that I remember I was very small when I saw him that I remembered that creature.
Nice.
I always thought that was really cool. The
thought you were
one-eyed.
I thought you were going to talk about the Cyclops from Krull.
That's Liam. No, it's not Liam Neeson. But Liam Neeson is in that. Oh my gosh!
Oh, I didn't even know
I
that.
can't believe it. You have no idea what I'm holding because this is a podcast. But Dub found my copy of Krull and Space Hunter double feature. Where did you find this?
It was on the other side of my desk.
Sweet.
I've been looking for it for months.
My life is complete again. My Krull has been returned to me.
I had the comic book of Krull when it came out.
Speaking of giant monsters.
Yes.
Caber, what is your number 5, sir?
Number 5, I am going to go with Jaws. I mean, I know that the Bruce. Again, in the book, if you read the Benchley's book, he's described as borderline Meg, like a borderline Meg, right? And it's 25 feet long. I mean, that is a giant.
Well, there's a certain. There's a certain creature that could be 25 feet tall if he was angry enough, and y'all said that wasn't allowed.
But
I'm just saying. Yeah.
That's really only an Ang Lee's Hulk. Honestly.
No. In the comics, he got that big.
Did he grow in the?
Yes, he
And,
did.
well, if you get World Breaker Hulk, then
Well,
he
he's only with
can...
World Breaker Hulk. We decided that was cool.
Well, I mean, it's just mass destruction, kind of. He wrecks stuff.
I'm just saying. Okay,
But
so back to Jaws.
But
I'll allow it.
That was the one thing, giant monster that legitimately scared a generation.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? I mean, still don't.
People were afraid to go to their freaking pools and swim.
Absolutely.
Flies.
Yeah.
Judges. Jaws. Giant monster.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
The giant robot steps on him. All right, so my number 5 is a cuddly wuddly little creature. He's tasty. He's squishy. Mr. Stay Puft from Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
AKA Gozer the Traveler.
He goes to the
goes to the Destructor.
Yeah, it was. He had to choose the destruction.
Yeah, the form
choose
of the Traveler.
of the Destructor. Yes. So yeah, but didn't necessarily kill anybody. Just dropped a whole bunch of marshmallow fluff all over everybody.
Marshmallow fluff.
I think
there
was
you gotta go. That's the way.
There probably was some collateral damage that we just didn't see because it was PG.
That's one thing we haven't talked about is collateral damage, but
it's a deleted scene.
All the mold would grow around the city and everything else. It'd be bad.
That's it.
People talk about the Avengers.
Not enough chocolate or graham crackers to make like s'mores out of.
I don't know. Y'all ever, after you eat a s'mores, you just can't wash it all off. I'm just saying.
Actually, if you eat too many marshmallows, you kind of like.
And everybody
like,
gets diabetes.
Right. So
yeah, it's just
that's
bad.
the real killer.
Wouldn't be a
here.
problem for me. I'm already
He's already
diabetes.
Wilford Brimley comes out.
Well, he starts. Now I know y'all have diabetes.
Everybody got diabetes from that marshmallow man. All right,
This is terrible.
Oh man, my number 5. My number 5 could also be controversial because this is at one time was probably a real honest to goodness animal, but in the movie it was definitely presented monstrously and awesomely in the T-Rex.
Okay, how long is a T-Rex?
Yep.
How long is a T-Rex?
How high are they?
Good, easily the size of Jaws.
See?
Bam,
Here
son.
we go.
Jaws plus. No. The first time animatronics were used in that way. Tell me that you guys all in the theater did not go, oh my God.
Oh,
when
just that scene where you see the water rippling and then all of a sudden you see the big foot and then him chasing the Jeep trying to get away.
Terrifying.
I was scared out of my mind.
I don't care anything they've done after. I don't even care. But that one, my
it's perfect.
goodness. Yes.
You know,
It
honestly,
still stands up.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. Same thing. Still looks great.
Which is
Well,
really
thanks.
Okay.
That's good.
No one's arguing your point.
I guess Jason got one right.
Hey.
Jason, you are right.
Actually, the T-Rex would be 2 Jaws because the
Okay,
T-Rex
now
is
he's
50
gotta
feet.
make it
now you
wrong.
got, now you
50
got.
feet. No, I think I've been thinking about this for the last 20 and 30 seconds, and I'm going to go with your jaw. I'm going to support you.
Thank you.
Because I got to work with you.
Can we
I don't
move
wanna
so
deal
far
with
past
it.
this and we're still coming back? My number 4 would be, because I was in the Navy and this one is near and dear to my heart, the Kraken.
Kraken.
I'm going to use the one from the Pirates, but basically all the different iterations of the Kraken has been amazing. I mean, that's a scary creature because that's just you're out. Literally, nothing can save you. There is nothing.
How
else.
many Krakens have there been? I know it's like essentially it's supposed to be a squid.
4.
It's basically
There've been
squid.
4 Krakens.
Right.
Well, there was the one that 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea.
Right.
That was,
Kraken.
That's a big
there
squid.
was Pirates.
Pirates.
There was
And then Clash of
Harry
Titans had
Titans.
its own.
That's no squid.
Well, yeah, that's I
a
don't know what
space station.
the squid versus creature of the Black
any
Lagoon had a
underwater
baby.
monster is going to be basically.
But
a
I think
Kraken.
anything in the ocean, I think, is just.
a Kraken. It's a generic term. It's only they can use that word.
Right.
Do you think it's a pissed off monster all the time because Kraken is such a stupid name for a monster?
Well, because you can say, "Hey, what's Kraken?"
Nah.
Wow. Okay. I didn't even get a response from anybody. That makes me so sad.
The 1980s called and they want their
They're
word
June.
back.
Actually, the 1980s call, they said, go ahead and keep the joke.
Oh, wow. Okay, now I feel bad about myself. Go ahead, Gabriel.
All right, my number 2 is
No, 4.
Number 4.
Number 4. I'm sorry. Did I say number 2?
Yes.
You did.
The time traveling monster. No. Number 4 is Mothra.
Mothra.
Yeah.
The first true good guy
Right.
or girl kaiju.
No.
It's
Beneficial
God,
to-
did they ever say if Mothra was a boy or girl?
I think it was
Or is it just
implied.
It's implied it's a her
Yeah. Okay.
because
'Cause the two
as
girls
it
summon
as
them,
it
right?
has died and come back and so forth, it usually lays an egg for a new Mothra.
Okay.
So yeah,
But it's kind of like when you're a kid, you see Godzilla, and it's like, oh, cool. But like, when you're kind of like, 5 or 6, it's kind of like they're not as scary. It's kind of like
Right.
it's kind of like your gateway drug into
Yeah, well, he like I remember Mothra had the two sisters, right? The 2 representatives that
Yeah.
would summon Mothra or what that. As a kid, I thought they were cute.
they're pretty.
dig
They're
them.
pretty.
yeah, they're cute. They
it's
kind of did a little evolution of the twins thing in the new
Right.
movie too.
Right.
with Mothra.
Oh man! But if you were dating one and then that one got mad at you and then summoned Mothra, never mind.
Right.
I don't want to
Right.
date him anymore.
Okay.
The other thing about Mothra, just to add in, Mothra was the first kaiju to really give Godzilla a challenge.
Right.
And actually, I think defeat him, kind of, sort of.
I have
Wasn't-
no
wasn't-
idea what the sequence was.
Wait a minute.
on
That's
this,
okay.
If
Just
I
jump
remember
in.
right, okay, so Mothra, I remember it was almost like a wind base, like would
Yeah.
flap its wings, and then wind,
And then-
it blew
and then-
Godzilla
Yeah.
back. So then Godzilla did like a running jump, and then I just remember seeing Godzilla just like vertical or like horizontal, just flying through the air.
And then it shot the silk, right?
The webbing stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I changed my number 4.
Oh, shame on you.
No, because you guys are all gonna kick yourselves in the tail for this.
Okay.
Galactus.
Oh.
Mic drop.
Are you talking about the one from the
Not the
Rise
finger.
of the Silver,
Not the finger.
the Rise of the Silver Surfer movie?
No, I mean the
cloud.
real
Cloud
Galactus.
out. Cloud
the
out.
big,
Scary.
the big planet-eating monstrosity.
Is that fair though?
Now I want to see things like Parallax. I mean, jeez.
The
The
but
entity,
I mean,
not the...
Okay, let me think about this for a second. Galactus is a giant alien,
right?
Oh, it fits.
so I think it counts.
Yeah,
But again, I'm thinking cinematic though.
much better than Jaws.
Oh,
Wow, you're just going to get thumped on the rest of
okay.
the
I'm going to argue
It's
this.
better you than me.
I'm going to argue this.
All right.
It's because we're dealing like mainly with all cinematic stuff. You've gone comic book. Was that all right?
Well, to
we
be
never-
fair, I'm in a couple.
We
I'm
never
going to be
did
going
put
way off.
parameter.
Okay,
We
Okay.
never
okay.
did
But no,
parameter
actually,
that.
I got to go with Galactus. I don't think he's better than Jaws because
Well, because otherwise it would have been your pick.
They both eat a lot of
Jaws and a
people.
Sharknado going after Galactus.
that'd be awesome.
Yeah, they both eat a lot.
Why
That's
did
true.
nobody
That's true.
pick the nothing from Neverending Story? Would that be? Because that's kind of the same cloud. Anyway, sorry.
All right, Galactus, very
You
good.
wanted to throw us off. I thought I'd throw us off even farther.
Very
Okay,
good,
actually,
Kaj.
Galactus is a good pick.
That was good, Kaj.
Yeah.
You
None
do
of us want to
win-
admit it.
You do win the
Yeah.
mic drop.
Ah.
All right, my number 4. I remember seeing this because I watched this movie when it first aired as a child, and you thought it was Godzilla, and he was
Kid by Charlie
fighting
Chaplin.
Anguirus, the one who rolls with all the spikes. Anguirus, and Anguirus got its butt kicked by this thing, but Anguirus rolled into it, chipped away a bit of the Godzilla skin, and there was metal underneath there.
Oh.
And this was the introduction of the alien robot Mechagodzilla, who ended up being probably the second most powerful besides Ghidorah,
Right.
and opened up a whole slew of like the Earth-made metal Godzillas that came after that.
Having said it's King Ghidorah, like he gets really mad if you don't put the
you don't put the
title
king
if you
in
don't
front
put
of
the
him?
title in front
Monster
of it.
Zero?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, he didn't go to. He went to King School.
yeah. He is royalty.
So Mechagodzilla.
Okay, that works. You know, I gotta say it. I hate that character so much.
Really?
Oh, out of all the monsters, that's like my least favorite. I don't know why.
Because I picked it. And
No,
put it in the
no,
countdown.
No, it has nothing to do
no.
with it. When I was
Yeah,
a kid,
I-
I think I had the toy, and it just looked. Even when I was a kid, I'm like, this just looks cheap.
You know what? I think It looked.
It's like you're reaching, and I should know what reaching is as a 6-year-old.
I think it looked way clunky. Like, you know what I'm talking about? It like even
that's actually a good word. That I remember even thinking that as a kid. It just doesn't.
Okay, it looked kind of plastic.
yeah.
I can't deny that, but
And honestly, that's the only.
I think the
reason. It's just-
idea of Mechagodzilla was way cooler than the actual.
yeah, but see it in Ready Player One.
Oh,
Okay,
That is true.
then it's
I'll give you that.
Mechagodzilla as it
Yeah.
should be.
copy that.
Okay, so we're up to number 3, and I will go with one of the most beloved books of all time, and one of the not so beloved movie second trilogies of all time, Smaug the Dragon.
Okay.
Oh no, really well done in the movie.
Oh no, he was well done, but I didn't. Those. Let's be honest. Those second 3 of the Lord of the Rings trilogy, the Hobbit trilogy, did not do well.
Just it
It
was.
should have
comparison.
been 2 movies.
Yeah, and I'll give
yeah.
you that. But you have to pull out the trilogy on everything.
Yeah,
Maybe
that
it
was
Godzilla.
production issues on that.
Oh,
But
speaking of guys in suits, they didn't use enough of them in that.
it's true. Benedict Cumberbatch doing the voice of
Yeah,
Smaug.
which
K-Brew, my fellow kind of into Tolkien guy.
Yes.
What did you think of the movie Smaug?
I thought it was very well done. I thought the dragon was really kind of stuck to the book. I didn't like that Bilbo took the ring off, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it looked great. I mean, it was just it summed up the menace of Smaug,
Yes.
and it just was great. Yeah.
Well, as far as movie dragons go, there's been I think 2 that have looked just that good. And that was-
Vermithrax is one.
well, I'd say Smaug and the one on Harry Potter, the last one, the White Dragon.
Yeah.
I thought that was a very well done. Because most they don't get dragons right, but that was one of the few they got
Was
right.
Vermithrax from Dragon Slayer?
Yeah.
That's a good dragon too.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Dragon. For the time.
For the times,
Yeah.
yeah. But
I
I'm
didn't
just
pick
saying
that, but now
what
that
I
we're talking
wanna
about
see.
dragons, I should have picked Vermithrax. Should have.
Would have been better than Jaws.
Oh.
Shots fired.
But Jaws, like, come on. Have you guys? Well, you were in the Navy, so I guess you had no choice. But I mean, have you been in the oceans? I mean, without.
I've been in a
thinking-
few.
Yeah, but have you gone in there without thinking what it like? We can argue that.
We have propellers bigger than Jaws
Right.
giant would have been. We're okay.
All right.
Go ahead, Gabriel.
Okay. Let me get my notes. back
Number
here.
3.
Number 3.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go stick with the Lord of the Rings or as Shelob, the giant spider.
Yes.
Oh,
Speeder.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A cross between that one. I almost picked that one.
Yeah.
That one or the Harry Potter spider would have been the 2.
You know what?
But that's honestly
I
much more
think
scary.
the Harry Potter spider, because there was some kind of they could kind of communicate with it. So
Yeah.
it was like it wasn't as scary. It was creepy,
Right.
but Shelob was just like this evil, dirty, lurking,
Old.
Yeah.
old, like
Thing.
just like-
Cranky.
yeah, evil
Curmudgeon.
personified. Like the
As we all look over at Jason.
last what is it? The
Don't
last,
go into my hairy cave.
What was like the last daughter of Ungoliant?
What? Last daughter?
Yeah, so like I don't know.
I don't remember.
Well, the descendant of. Didn't you ever read the? Oh, forget it.
I have, but I don't know. No, that's the forest spiders were related, but they're
Right.
all Ungoliant spawn.
Right.
See, when 2 Tolkien people say, "Don't go into my hairy cave," it's not as bad as the dirty-minded bunch here on the left and the right.
Oh, really? Oh, jeez.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm not thinking of that.
What did I miss? I'm like
I don't know.
I'm like caught up in the conversation about
wow.
about.
Gosh, would you like
spiders.
to go with your number 3, sir?
Voltron. I'm just gonna
Very
go
good.
quick at Voltron.
Kill it.
Lions, not the whole like group of like cars and stuff.
Oh, yeah,
like
yeah,
that, but
yeah,
the lions,
yeah,
the
yeah.
5 lions, form up big
Big Voltron
robots.
monster.
I'm losing my train of thought. Big robot fighting aliens that are just as big as they are.
And very well
old
done.
school, new school. The
Doesn't
new
matter,
one
it's
that
all
comes
good.
up are really great. Love Voltron.
The big freaking sword.
Yep. Oh yeah. Dun, 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 dun.
Nice. All right, my number 3. It was mentioned earlier in the list as a Toho monster, but I am going to say that it isn't. It actually was a competitor to Godzilla, and that would be Gamera.
Yes.
It's another Japanese film company that wanted to basically do their giant, icon monster.
Right.
And Gamera, the giant turtle, in the first movie was very much like Godzilla, a destructive, evil thing, but quickly after that, they made Gamera like the friend to children.
Right.
Yeah, they really tamed. But it was like the
Kind of like the officer friendly of the.
officer friendly of the giant monster team. But Gamera did, very well. They did Gamera movies all through the Godzilla phases. There were phases of Gamera too. You just don't know as much about them. But who didn't love that flying, spinning fire?
I honestly think, now that I think about it, I think that's why I have a fondness for turtles, is because of Gamera. Because just seeing him just spinning through the air and just like hitting people like almost like Captain America's shield almost back in my youth was just amazing. I loved it.
Right.
Nice. Oh, so up to number 2 already. And I'm going to go off the cinematic universe into the video game universe. Without, if you didn't have to cheat and type in Justin Bailey, you could get to this guy, and that would be one Mother Brain.
Mm-hmm. Well, Justin Bailey was not really a cheat. It was, you just saw Samus in a bikini.
I went to school with Justin Bailey, and he was a great guy.
No, I got to disagree with you, because you got 255
No, Justin Bailey
missiles.
really was a great guy. Yeah. Sorry.
And you had your wave gun.
Okay.
Now,
So
for those of us who are now staring blankly and drooling because they don't know what the heck you're talking about, where's Mother Brain from?
Nintendo Entertainment System had Metroid.
Oh, okay.
And it was actually a very frightening look. As much as 8-bit graphics could be, just a big brain that was pulsating, and you had to kill it while you were getting shot at. And it was honestly, it was kind of terrifying, to be completely honest.
Or if you watch the Nintendo Power Hour, then you get to see the cartoon version of it. And
I forgot about that.
Oh, what was it? What was his name? Tubbs? The voice from Audrey 2 from Little Shop of Horrors.
Yeah.
Tubbs something.
Right.
Something
Okay.
Tubbs, right? Yeah, and he voiced Mother Brain, and then it went from like really scary to like, okay, this is silly.
Seymour.
This is silly.
Come here, Samus.
You don't know what you're messing with.
I know, right? It's just sort of breaking out into song.
Honestly, a great character, and
How come none of us put Audrey 2 on our list?
because that's not a giant monster.
Yes, it is.
Well,
It's a plant.
It depends on which, like, because if you watch the director's cut of it, at the end of the movie, the plants take
Get
over the
even
world,
bigger.
and they get huge. They get massive. They destroy New York. So,
Woohoo!
it's actually pretty terrifying. It's actually funny, but
It is.
If we're gonna put in Jaws, we'll put in that. Yeah.
You know what? I'm going to pull up a picture of Quinn going into Jaws' mouth.
I'm defending you. I'm adding you into the list.
I think that this show will be named In Defense of Jaws.
Yes.
In defense of Bruce.
Absolutely.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh,
Sweet.
fish are friends, not food. Your number 2, sir?
Okay, my number 2. I'm going to go with Ultraman.
Okay.
Oh.
Ultraman is a character I've heard so much about, and I've never actually seen him. When I read the Ready Player One, I learned a lot about him. And, I just heard everybody talk about him, but I've never seen Ultraman. So tell me, what is the appeal?
We talked about it like beforehand. It was the fact that you've got Hayato with a bathing capsule, and again, I'm going completely off, like memory and stuff like that, but you felt like you could actually be Ultraman when you were a kid, because it was like, here's this normal guy, and he's turning into Ultraman with the with the help of.
There was a
like 3 minutes
it
or
was like
something?
an entity. It was like an alien entity that would imbue him with powers that so that you can fight these monsters. Kind of like almost like he's like the ultimate Power Ranger.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't need the other Power Rangers. It's just him.
Well, neither did the Green Ranger. I'm just saying.
But it would only allow, because he had his chest.
And he can only use it for a certain amount of time.
and
It
there
was
was
Like 3 minutes. Well, I'd say I just
Yeah.
read Ready Player One. So.
and then it started blinking.
heard about it,
But
10
when it would
minutes or
start
something.
blinking, you're like, oh my gosh, is he going to make it? So it added like that element of anxiety, where it's like,
Nice.
Yeah.
it was
And
great.
I'll even say it on the show. If you haven't watched the Netflix anime of it now, it's almost like a sequel to it. Like the original character is now older and he has a son, and now his son takes over the mantle of Ultraman as well. So it's
Totally
really
gonna
good.
see that.
Yeah, but they have every season of Ultraman from like the 60s on Hulu. At least they did.
On
yeah.
Hulu, yep.
Yeah. So
All right, so my number 2 is kind of a combination, because they're kind of the same thing, just in different shows. But for my number 2, I put the Veritech fighters, the VF-1 Valkyrie fighters from Macross, or as Americans know, Robotech, or the Gundam fighters from Gundam.
Nice.
Which,
the Star Wars from the episode 1, right?
huh?
Oh, those are
No. Way before that. But yeah, just like the quintessential, when everybody thinks of like giant like fighting robots like Gundam or Robotech Veritech fighter are usually the ones that come to mind. The one I think one of the big advantages about Robotech was that they kind of added on to Gundam and then made it into like a plane that transformed into, you can either put the legs down and it was kind of like a half breed, or you can make it into full robot. So
Very nice. All right, my number 2 in the adaptation of Ready Player One, the film, they did not use Ultraman.
No.
What they did use was my number 2, the Iron Giant.
Oh,
Yes.
nice. Vin Diesel.
Vin Diesel, yes.
Yep.
I absolutely cannot express how much I love the Iron Giant movie. I'll just leave it there. If you haven't seen it, please do, because it's everything you would want in a film.
It's a classic quintessential animation
Yes.
that everybody should see.
Plus,
Young or
they
old.
had the robot from News of the World on it.
It does look a lot like that, yes.
Nice. Actually, I never thought of that. I hate you. Ugh. Now I'm never going to get that out of my head. Okay, so my number 1 is going to be something we've talked about several times today already and proved that Jason's a bad parent, and that would be the Titans from Attack on Titan.
I am a bad parent. I can't deny it in this situation.
No, but those creatures were probably one of the scariest monsters I've ever seen. I mean, you take Freddy Krueger and all that; it's scarier than that. They're just when you see them just eating somebody, it's just like, oh, that's terrible.
Do they always, though, through the episodes? Because I've only seen like 5 episodes. Do they always move that slow?
Not necessarily. There's variations.
The bigger they get, the slower they get.
Well, not even that. There's different types of them, because I'm just kind of sorry, guys. I'm just starting like season 2 of them, so they're season 2 of the show, and there's different variations of it, but. There's like slower ones. There's faster ones. There's one that actually has like a little bit of armor, and then he's kind of like the battling ram, so he'll go full tilt and then hit the wall, the barrier wall, and then bust it open. The thing about the Titans, though, is that they just show up. It's not just like with Jaws or with Godzilla or King Kong. You can kind of see them coming. You can see like there's a blip on the radar.
There is no scene coming.
Like you have some time to prepare. With the Titans,
It's there.
like they might not show up for like I think in the beginning of the show it was like it hadn't been for 100 years, but then all of a sudden everybody's all happy, having a good time, and all of a sudden, boom, just one shows up and starts wrecking things.
Yeah.
And you just have no time to prepare.
Right.
To me, that makes it more
That's
horrifying than
scarier,
anything we've talked about.
They are creepy looking.
And,
no
and
doubt.
how their skin's torn.
And they get smiles, and they just eat people. They'll just kill anybody indiscriminately.
Yeah, we're really illustrating what a bad parent I am.
Well, but I got to give this example, like with the skin tearing, when they do Bane right.
Yeah.
In the animated series, they have the same kind of skin tearing. It just shows muscle because the skin is ripped because it got so big, and that's how scary it is.
Yeah.
Oh,
they are scary, no doubt.
yeah. Okay. K Brew, are you having nightmares right now? Are you
Yeah,
okay?
absolutely.
Are you frightened?
It's actually a good show.
No,
No, yeah, I
to
have.
it. It's a good
well,
show.
I'm like trying to figure out. Like, I've never watched it.
You should.
I know.
You should watch at least the first episode, and if it doesn't make you vomit, then you're probably a good person.
Sweet, sweet. Because it's on. Because I've seen. I mean, it's on. Like, what? It's on Netflix.
It's on Netflix.
Yeah.
It's
It's
the first
Hulu.
season.
It's
It's
on Hulu.
gruesome. I can't say that I was desensitized enough to when I did see that opening scene that I had heard so much about. It didn't. It was like shocking.
Well, is it kind of like seeing the ear episode on Reservoir Dogs, where you're like, oh, it's so gross, and you see it's like, it's not
More
that bad.
blatant than that. But yeah.
It's pretty. It's violent.
Yeah.
It's gory.
It's gory.
Yeah, it's a horror
But at
anime.
the time, it's
yes.
anime.
Okay.
Yeah. No, it's not just. No, it's a horror anime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
You're number 1.
My number 1 is the Rancor From Star Wars.
Oh, I'm so mad at myself for
Return of
not
the
saying
Jedi.
that one.
Return of the
I'm
Jedi.
mad at you because I didn't think of it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that scene when he throws the skull. And, then when the Rancor Keeper was crying over him, you're like,
And
there's so many levels.
I know.
if you read the tales from Jabba's palace, you get the entire Rancor story,
Yep,
and
absolutely.
it breaks your heart even more that he's crying at the end over that thing.
And again,
I don't think I've read that. I need to read that.
But
Do you have that?
Oh yeah, you got it. It's so
Yeah.
good. Like they've got the Tales of the Bounty Hunter and Tales from Jabba's Palace.
Yes,
no,
Mos
Tales from
Eisley.
Mos Eisley.
I'm gonna have to see if that's on Audible.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm
they're
gonna read
awesome.
that.
The Tales books. Oh, they're so good.
I'm going to read it, and then I'm going to watch Return of the Jedi again, and then I'm like,
If you ever wondered about the Jawa in the cantina ordering the drink, read.
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah.
Great stories.
Right. But yeah, I do think that, like you said, because it had the stop motion the stop motion. It had everything that was cool done well.
Yeah.
And it had, Star Wars. So what are you going to do?
sweet.
All right.
All right, so my
Remember
number
when
one.
it ate the Gamma Ray guard? Remember
Oh,
how,
yeah.
Just ripped
remember
it
how you
apart.
felt?
Yeah.
That's Attack on Titan.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was great. I'm like, I'm gonna love it.
Then you should watch
Yeah,
it.
but they're innocent people.
Right.
Have Jason invite you over when his daughter's in, and you can all three
Yeah,
watch it.
yeah.
We're gonna have a daddy-daughter date.
Hashtag good parenting. All right.
Oh boy. No.
All right. So my number one is the classic robot that everybody knows and loves, Peter Cullen, Optimus Prime.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's my quintessential growing up, and probably the reason why I don't like Michael Bay. Because
Right.
he ruined him
You
for
ruined
me.
it.
Yeah. Michael Bay. Look at the face.
But
Every
at
time you
least-
say Michael Bay, the face.
Okay. Look, I will
Scroll
give
past it, guys.
I will give
Scroll
Michael
past
Bay. I will give Michael Bay one good thing. He actually got Peter Cullen to do the
do the
voice of
voice.
Optimus
Right.
Prime.
Yeah.
I will give him that.
Yeah, the one thing.
But he should have given Frank Welker Megatron. But
He should have. You're
Then
right.
then I take that point away from him.
Yeah. So he's kind
All
of
right.
neutral.
I'll take your face off. Sorry. Oh, so bad. Wow. So bad.
All right. So Hayata was on the super science team, right? Isn't
Right.
that what they were called?
Yeah.
And he was flying, and he got into a crash with an alien ship.
Right.
And they crashed, and on the alien ship was a being called Ultraman. And Ultraman, that's the only time in the first episode that Ultraman spoke. Okay? And he was talking to Hayata
like,
and
"Sup?"
said, "We need to merge because your wounds are too severe, and I need to give you and imbue you with my power, and we need to merge for you to survive. So I will do that because I caused this accident." Okay? And thus was born version 1 of Ultraman, my number one, which, as we already talked about, you could imagine having, how many things did you pretend were the beta capsule?
I know.
And
I used to call it bathing capsule. Was it the beta capsule?
it was a beta capsule.
Beta capsule, yeah.
Yeah. See, again, childhood memories.
That's
you know.
okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, Monster of the Week. And it followed a definite plot even through all the Ultramans that came after. It always kept continuity in mind. Ultraman. I would have, as much as I love the Iron Giant, I kind of wish Ultraman would have been in Ready Player One, but I bet they couldn't get the rights.
Since you're the last in the round for the number ones, how would you feel if they actually did another live action Ultraman, like a movie?
I would love it.
Make maybe a trilogy of it or something.
I would absolutely love it. I'd be there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
totally.
As
I
long as-
thought they were going to do one.
Yeah, I did too. I saw something like a trailer. Like
Yeah, YouTube thing. I
Yeah.
thought they were going to do one. I don't know if it ever got
And if it's
really-
on YouTube, it must be true.
Hey, they got Cobra Kai.
Right. No, I don't know. I don't
No,
know.
I saw a trailer.
a trailer. Yeah, I did
yeah.
too. I thought they were going to do one. But yeah, do one.
Okay.
We're there.
And that's a show. Check out the Facebook. Talk to us. Do our listener polls. We'll probably put you on the show if you tell us why you liked whatever it is that we did. Go to the Twitter at iHeartGeekShow. Go to the website www.iheartgeekshow.com. Use the column we paid extra for it. Go to the YouTube. Subscribe to that channel.
That's right. We
Like
have a
and subscribe.
YouTube now.
We have
I
so
don't-
much video stuff coming now, which is freaking amazing.
Can we plug the contest as well?
Yes, this is the last time you can plug it. Go ahead.
Okay.
First and last.
On the spot. All right, this first. Well, if you've seen the YouTube channel, I did a small little video of this. But we are naming our mascot, the heart with the glasses, on iHeartGeek. We don't have a name for him or her. We don't know who's going to be yet. But please put your stuff in the YouTube and Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter accounts. Give us a name, and if we like the name, not only will you get some stickers from our logo signs,
the first public ones,
and also via Skype, we will have you on the show with some of the other podcast members.
Choice of podcast members,
but keep it friendly, keep it family friendly. Nothing is all right. No hentai. You know what we're talking about. And yeah, so get your names in, and we'll pick a winner here soon.
Nice. And until next time, I'm Dub.
I'm Kipper.
I'm Kaj.
I'm PB&Jason.
Keep on geeking on.
Can you guys believe we did not get one Doctor Who monster on this?
You've been listening to iHeartGeek. Our Twitter account is @iHeartGeekShow. Hope you enjoyed the show.